Okay, so recording has started. So welcome to the session, guys. And today I think we are going to go into the technical details of how EIS is implemented internally. Before I start, let me actually show you some technical diagram of how EIS is, built, and what are the technical layers around EIS. So if you see, are you guys able to see my screen, or should I?
Yes,
Yeah,
Vijay.
Okay,
definitely.
okay. So if you see, this is EIS suite, and here in EIS suite, actually it is divided into four layers, sort of thing. That at the top layer we have all these core modules I've been talking about: policy core, billing core, claim core, and customer core. This is our topmost layer. Okay, under that particular layer we have a configuration layer where we can do all the configurations related to that particular project. And generally speaking, I think most of the products in the market, not just insurance solution product, but any product, you will see that it has a configuration part where you can do the configurations and customization based on uh, that customer's requirement who is using it. Okay, that is the second layer where you could do all these configurations, mostly in the admin section of any product, and we will see it in EIS also. The third layer is about the platform layer, where we have all our workflows configured, our analytics done, our batch processing is configured there. We have third party integrations. All those come under this platform layer. Okay, and then the last layer we have is presentation and business logic and data access, where we write our code using Java language. Any questions on this? So this is in general, like how EIS is built. This is built using four layers, and mostly we will be working in all four layers. QA people will be testing it out in through the application UI, and then developers or BAs or anyone can do the configuration. And then in the platform is and the Java, it is going to be mostly developers working in these two layers. Okay, and this one I think you might already be aware of that. Java, in Java, how we use MVC model, where we write our model view and controller using our presentation layer, where our business layer and data access layer. Okay, in data access we are using JPA in EIS. Okay, so this should be very simple, straightforward, but once we see it right in action, then we will be more clear about it, how we do. So we have seen the policy core, billing core, claim core. Actually, claim core and billing core I have not yet gone through, but we are talking about mostly policy and customer. And now I will take you through the configuration part of EIS. Okay. So in the last session, we saw one customer and one code, and we didn't see anything in the admin. So I will take you to admin. But before I take you to the admin part, let me show you the quote again. Basically, we are dealing in the policy, right? We are dealing in the insurance business, and here we are taking care of the policy side. Okay, so once we create a policy, we have to create a quote, and we have to ask customer, okay, what are the data, based on which we should issue that policy. uh, Based on the data what customer provides under these various tabs here, we evaluate all this data, and we try to give customer a particular premium, that you will have to pay this much premium if you want to go ahead with this particular policy. Now let's talk about the technical details, how it is implemented in this project, how this uh, page is configured or developed, right? So at this top of this page, you will see this section where you have the generic information. This is called the banner. Okay, and later we will see how this banner is configured. And if you see down, you have multiple tabs here, and you have under each tab you can provide, customer can provide all the data related to that particular customer, and based on that data we are going to calculate the premium. So how is this screen designed in EIS, right? This is basically we are going to see in today's session. and I am going to show you how we can easily build this product. Actually, before I do that, let me show you one more thing. Um, so once I try to click on add new code, right here, it is going to ask us which product we are going to create this particular code for. So there could be multiple products configured in EIS. Right now in my system, there is only one product, which is disability income. In bankers, there might be other products. Okay. And I'm going to show you how these products are built. Okay. Once I select the product and start next, you will again see that particular window where we are gathering all the data from the customer. Now I won't spend much time here. Actually takes little time to load here. So this, we are going to see how this product is built and how these screens in this particular product are built. So basically what you see on your screen, where we are capturing all the data from the customer, or agent is putting all this data here. This space, right, is called workspace. What is it called? Workspace, where we can enter all the details about policy, insured, all these plan definitions and everything, and based on that we are going to show premium to the customer. So this is called a workspace. So I can go to different tabs in a workspace, right? So I'm going to show you how do we do that. So in the admin section, I just clicked on admin here. On the top right section, if you see, there are multiple things: manage tabs, admin, and logout. So I just went to admin section, and admin, it has multiple tabs here. The particular tab we are going to focus is this product tab. Okay. Now EIS has a to see, at the end of the day, what you are going to do through EIS is you are going to create multiple products, and these products are nothing but insurance products. So life could, like if your business is selling life insurance policy, so life becomes a product for you, right? So in EIS you have to have a product through which you can sell life insurance policies. Similarly, in my case, I must have a disability insurance product in EIS before I can start selling disability insurance. Okay, so if I go to the product, uh, and EIS actually has architected it really beautifully. Okay, I'm talking specifically about version 12. I know version 20 has multiple other features. Uh, we need to take another session for V20. But here, all the sessions we are only talking about V12 version. Okay, and how they had done is that to build. So EIS realized that if they have to build this insurance solutions product, and through which their customer, the insurance customers, they will be building out their multiple insurance products. So they realize that there should be a factory, a product factory. What is a factory? Where you can build out your any product basically. So suppose if there is a rail coach factory, right, where rail coaches are manufactured. you know. So as in the software terms also, we call it a factory when you can have multiple products coming out of that factory. You just send that request, and that factory, what will it do is that it will manufacture that product and give it to you. So EIS utilized this architecture, and they created this product factory. Product factory, simply in simple words, is a factory where you can build insurance products in EIS. Okay, so you can start from add new product. If you already have an existing product, you can import it. Okay, and if simply you want to search what is there in the system right now, you can click on search, and it will list all the products you have under this product factory. Okay, if you want to build it from scratch, add new product is the option, and you can go ahead and start creating your products. It is that simple. Does it sound simple, guys? Like if I want to start selling life insurance policies, I have to come here in the product factory in EIS. I have to build a new product, and we are going to see how easy it is, right, to build a product. Any questions on what is a product factory or a factory in general? Right, in Java, you might have also seen factory pattern. So this also is designed on that same principle, that there would be a factory, and you send any request to that particular factory, and it will build that object for you. Okay, here the object being the product, insurance product. Okay, now let's me go to this product, and I will start showing you. So basically, this is my uh, when I create this quote for disability insurance, right? So this is my product, and everything is in my product when I am creating this new quote. So here, let me go to this quote, and I will show you the product factory. Okay. Uh, So right now I'm in the disability income product, and there are multiple options or the multiple configurations I have in this section. So I will just start with properties and show you like the properties of this particular product. Okay, this is the product code where I'm saying this is a pre-configured. Now there are a few naming conventions you will encounter when you are going to work in any EIS project, is that you will see this naming like prac. What this prac means is pre-configured. So what does that pre-configured means is that when when EIS developed this product, right, from their end, they pre-configured a few of the things. Okay, and this wherever you see this pre-configured keyword, that means it is provided by EIS itself, or people call it base itself. So how any EIS development is done? Let me open this. So what EIS did is they created this EIS system. They call it EIS system, or they simply call it base. Okay. Now this base. On this particular base, they could pre-configured a few products. Okay, within this you have multiple pre-configured products. Okay, one could be your life insurance, what could be disability, other could be car insurance. There are multiple products pre-configured on this particular EIS system. Now, the development on EIS, any development you do on this particular EIS is called Delta development. So what they did is they have provided this product as a base, and you can, they have provided different extensions to you in the sense like you can extend these very things, and you can also develop your features on top of it and develop your own system. Uh, so what happened now? They give this thing that they are calling it delta development. So I'll just explain this. Let me write this word, delta development. Okay, and you might be hearing these words already in if you are working in EIS projects. That the base keyword. You might be hearing EIS or base. So what is this? Is that they have provided one software, one product, and they have provided multiple extensions through which you can do a delta development on top of the EIS based product. And this is what we are going to do. We are going to take this as a base. So when you are going to start any project, right? Uh, so here your development will start. And then this development starts here on the base, starts from base means the base product which is provided by EIS, and on top of that you will be doing your delta development. Any questions around this? Why we are calling it delta development? Because we are doing a delta development based on what is already provided by base.
Yeah, Vijay. In the project, we frequently hear the term base upgrade, migration. So
Ah,
I'm curious to know if it is frozen. This base is frozen, and all the development happens on as an upgrade to that, or does the changes happen to the base as well?
good question. So right now, let's say we are working on a version. Mm, which version you are working on currently?
I do not, as of now, I mean, I do not know the difference between V12 and V20.
Uh-huh. So suppose you are working on V20, okay? Uh, what is version, right? Suppose I am developing a product, and I'm developing XYZ product. Okay, so now I launched that product in the market, but my development doesn't end there. Okay, I'm still in the background, I'm trying to make my product better, right? And how do I release this particular product to the market is I do it based on the versions. So right now I released v20, right? But I see that v20 had some limitations in the code, and I can make it even better. So what I will do is I will take that as a base and I'll create another version of it. Like I will add multiple other features in this V20, and maybe I'll name it as V20.1 version. So basically, what is the difference is that you have had a system, and you release it under a particular version, and in the next, if you want to enhance that any feature of that particular version, you will do it through basically next version releases. Similarly, you can have other releases also after v20. You can have v20.2. Okay, v20.2, and so on so forth, right? As and when they have any new feature added, they will release it under any new feature. So basically what is happening is that you launched your product in the market with certain features, but you always want to make sure that you are all in competitive in the market, and you always want to make sure that all the modern features or the current features which are out there, or are in demand from market, are always included in your products. So you are doing that feature development uh, through the versions. Okay, and what is a version upgrade is that suppose your client bankers in this case, right? They are working on v20 version, but EIS also is working in the background to make their product better, and they release a feature in v20.1, and bankers now actually they have this particular version, they don't have v20.1, right? Yes, even though they have released it in the market, but principal is still working, or not, no, principal bankers in this case is working on v20, right? uh, but
Yep.
now bankers realize that these new features included in v20.1 are needed for my business also, right? In that case, what will they do is they will do a migration from v20. They will say, okay, I should go into v20.1, and this is called migration. Mm. What basically you are migrating? You are migrating from v20 version to v20.1, so that whatever new features are released in this new version of your product are also available for you when you are doing your development. This is what is called migration. Any questions?
Vijay,
Yeah.
this system, like AI system or base, so
Mhm.
it is going to be common for any any version you go. It is common, right?
No, this is common in your data development.
Mm.
Now, here below this line, whatever you see is EIS system. Here on top of whatever you see using this data development is the system what you are developing under a particular client. Suppose you are writing code for bankers project, right? So the bankers project will be a delta development, and who will be the owner of this code will be your client, bankers in this case. So bankers will own any delta development. Now this thing below the line, everything is owned by EIS, and they can sell it to any customer they want to. But this code, whatever you are doing the data development, the copyrights are with the client which is doing this data development. So bankers project will be only for bankers project.
Okay.
But
Got it.
this EIS system is EIS is they can offer it to anyone. They can offer it to bankers also. They can offer it to principal also. They can also offer it to American Insurance Group or LIC. Anyone who wants to buy that particular product from them.
Okay. Okay. Mm.
Yeah. So this is how it happens.
Okay.
Any more questions? Very good question about migration, that why we do migration, because we are migrating it from one version to other version in the base side. And basically when I say base side, let me show you the code. If you see these external libraries, right? These external libraries are all are provided by base, most of them. Okay, so this will update actually in the background for you whenever you are updating your version from V20 to new version. These external libraries code will will be upgraded, and basically whatever you have your code bankers EIS app or IDI EIS app in my case, this will be owned by your client. This is owned by uh, principal in my case and bankers in your cases. Okay, this is the technical part of it, but this is what we are doing basically. Okay, if you want, you can take a screenshot of this, or anyway, I can send it to you also if you want. Okay, let me come back to the EAS then. Any other question you have?
No, Vijay, fine.
Okay. So we were seeing the product properties. So here what it will just show you like generic properties of that particular product. This is your pre-configured product, and this is the code, right? And you are basically what you are saying is here it is not built from scratch by somebody, but it is a pre-configured product which was provided by EIS, and on top of that you are doing your data development. Like here they provided a version of your product, and then on top of that you did a delta development, and this is disability income, and the broad line of business is group insurance, line of business is disability insurance, policy term type is monthly, all those things about the product properties. But let me come to the main point. I wanted to show you these workspaces. Now how these workspaces are built, right? Wherever I am working, where I'm providing all this data in my um, quote data gather right form, how I'm creating these forms basically in the UI. Now we are seeing the technical things. Okay, see here, if you see, I have defined multiple workspaces here in the system. What I did was here, so I am in the product, and on the left hand side, if you see these workspaces, so I clicked on that and I came to workspaces. So basically I am in the default workspace where I can see that, I have all these tabs configured. What is the data I need to correct from my customer? And this is where I'm defining that, under I will need so many tabs because I need to capture all the policy details, advisor detail, insure detail, plan definition detail, and part B and premium summary. Basically under each tab I need to collect data from customer, and then these two tabs I need for my personal things, like my personal business things. Okay, so I need to develop this workspace in my product, and it could be little different in your case in bankers, but at the end of the day it will be a workspace. So how these workspaces are configured, if you just click go to workspaces, you will see that you have multiple tabs defined here, and you can create new tabs also in this particular workspace. My product might not be unlocked. Just quickly check. So if you want to make any changes in your product, you have to unlock it first, so that you can go ahead and make any changes. I will go back to workspaces again. There you see all the detail about okay, this one is a master policy. Let me select root entity as a default policy. Now under this default policy, I see that there are multiple tabs. If I want to create a new tab, suppose I want to get another data under plan B tab. So I simply come here and define my tab here. So So another tab will be created in the system, which will be listed after risk assessment tab. So basically here you see these many tabs. After that, there will be another tab created here, which will be plan B. It is as simple as it sounds. Okay, there is nothing much you will have to do because all of these things are configurable. And let me show you the screen back, the architecture. Now basically we are talking about this configuration layer, which is the second layer in EIS. At the top you have your policy and all those core. Second tab is configuration, where you have your product factory also here, where you can do all the configuration. Now this through simple configurations, what you can do is you can create a tab here. Now tab is created. Now we want to go to the next thing in EIS. Okay, now you see that what EIS has done is each workspace is divided into tabs, and under each tab you will see that there are different sections. You see this disability income is one section, adaptable income benefit another section. Under that, then again you have optional benefit riders as another section. I'm getting error because I have unlocked that product. As long as my product is unlocked, I cannot create any code in the system. So you guys have to be very careful. Let's see if I'm trying to make any changes, I'm getting error here because my product is unlocked. Right. So whenever you are making any changes in the product, make sure that you don't try to consume that product, or you will not be able to consume that product actually. Okay. So now I'm just showing that under each tab you have different sections, and under each section you have your uh, few attributes where you are capturing the data, or the fields. We call it in general terminology, we call it fields. Under each section we have few fields. So how simply EIS has defined that, you will love it. So what they did is that they defined this different section using components. Now what are components? So suppose if you want to build a house, you will have a building blocks, right? You'll have some kind of we call it in bricks, right? In northern India we use bricks, but nowadays we are using stones also to construct our houses, right? So those are building blocks. Like we can use those building blocks, and we can make a wall out of those stones or bricks, right? So simply here also the same concept. You combine these multiple components under one particular page, and you will have your page ready. And what are these components? These components are nothing but will have multiple attributes or the fields under those particular components. So you can ask customers what data, whatever data you want to capture, you can show it under those particular component. Now I'm going to show you this how plan definition is created here. So if I click on plan definition here, you will see that there are multiple components. Does it sound simple, guys, or it sounds complicated?
Fine, Vijay.
Yeah. So under plan definition, you will see that here you have different sections, and each section is nothing but different components. So disability income. So here pre-configured disability income coverage, right? And pre-configured DI package manager. This one might be there here. Plan definition section. Okay. The different sections. Right now I cannot open them because my product is open. But these are different sections you should understand, right? Plan definition disability, and how I have developed it is using these components. So whenever you are working in EIS, mostly you will be working with these components, or you will be developing these components so that you can build a product. A product is nothing but a set of components defined under a workspace. So here you have defined a workspace. Under that workspace, you have multiple tabs. Under each tab, you have different sections using your components. We will see how these components are developed. Okay, you mostly will be working on developing these. Actually, mostly in policy side and the claim side, you have the same architecture. where you have defined your workspaces using these components. Billing is little different. Billing is mostly Java. There is less configuration and more Java code. But here on the policy and the claim side, there is a lot of configuration which you can do in the tool, and you can get set. Okay. Any questions till now before I go deeper into how these components are developed, or what are basically these components? Karthik, are you understanding? Karthik, Pankaj, Amar.
Yeah, yes, Vijay.
Okay. So here basically under a product, you have defined a workspace. Under a workspace, you have defined multiple tabs, and these tabs are nothing but combination of multiple components, and we are calling it sections also. Okay. In general terminology, we call it sections, but in technical terms, we are calling these components. Okay. One plan definition is one component in the background. One disability income is one component in the background. Okay, like that. Okay. So now under the product, you have seen that how I have created this workspace. We'll go ahead and maybe delete this plan B. I don't need it. Okay, I just wanted to show you how you can quickly go ahead and create any workspace. Uh, like any new tab you can add. It is very easy. Right. And another thing I wanted to show you is how this banner is developed here, and how easily you can configure it. I think in bankers you might have done few changes in this banner. And this top information at the code level is called banner. And in the workspaces, if you go, there is this manage banner option where you can click on it, and you can create multiple banners, and you can put data in that uh, from the database, like through the components. Okay, this is fine. I want to show you the component first, and then we can come back to this one. Let me go to plan definition. Let me go to this particular component. Now see where I am. I am in my product. I am under workspaces here, and under workspaces, if you see, there are multiple tabs. I am under plan tabs. I want to configure and see like how my components is configured here. So I'm going here under plan definition under this particular coverage component. Okay. Now, if you see, my tab is changed from workspaces. Actually, now I'm under components tab here. Okay. I'm still in my product, but from workspaces, I came into the components part where I can, this component section is where I can define or build my components, which could be used to define a workspace. Simple enough, right? I am basically building these pages using components, and I'm grouping these components together under workspaces. Okay. Now let me show you this particular component. So here you see at the top is my policy component. If I just close it, see everything is gone here, because policy entity is my root entity. You know, in any product or any project, whichever project you are working on, there must be a root entity under which you will have every information regarding that particular module. Okay, so here when we are working in the policy module, every component or anything is defined under the policy entity. So this becomes my have you guys seen entity relationship model in the database side? So basically, in that when you are designing your any project, right? You identify all your entities. Entities are nothing but your real life objects. Like in your policy side, you will be sending those quotations to your customer. and then you will be receiving the approval from them. The court has to go through the approval process. These are the real things which is happening in the insurance business, right? So everything will happen under this particular root entity. Okay. And now if you see this component, pre-config disability income coverage also is attached under that particular policy entity only. So it is under this particular entity. Under policy, I have my pre-config disability income coverage defined. So this is a direct level under policy. There could be some products which will be uh, which will not be at the direct policy level, but inside a few of these things. Like if you see pre-configured insured, this is directly under the policy tab or the policy root entity, but there are multiple child components also under this particular component. Right? So this should be known that you can develop your components and you can attach it to policy or whichever component you want to attach it under. That possibility is there. You can do it simply configuration in the product factory, and that is achievable. Okay, let's come back to this particular component now. What is this component? This component is as pre-config. I already mentioned that pre-config is nothing but which is already provided by base or EIS. It is a pre-configured component which is given by base only, and I can use it. Okay, and the name suggests like if disability income is my product, and then the coverage means this is a coverage component. Again, coverages I had mentioned in my insurance domain sessions. A coverage is your part of the policy. Like when you are buying a car insurance, you simply can buy it for third party liability coverage. And if you want to have a comprehensive one, you can also add third fire coverage or the theft coverage. So a coverage basically means what areas of insurance will be covered for your risk item. Okay, like when you are insuring your car becomes your risk item which you are going to insure, and what areas of that particular car you are going to insure. Is that car insured for fire or not? Is that car insured for theft or not? So all of these can be defined under coverage. What coverages you have bought for that particular policy. So this coverage component is used to define your coverage. Okay. Under this, you have multiple attributes. Now, attributes is a terminology given by EIS for fields. Right now here, if you see, these are the fields, right? Under disability income, I have monthly benefit amount, elimination period, benefit period, your occupation period. These are the fields. In EIS technical terms, these are called attributes. Okay. And here under this section, you see the manage attributes. You simply click on it and it will show you component attributes, all the applicable attributes which are provided by base. Or you can also develop these components. Later I can show you like how you can go ahead and develop your components on your own, like through Java code or simple configuration you can do, and you can extend your base components and define more attributes here. That also is very simple, but for this session I'm just talking about the configuration part. So here you see that under this particular component, there are multiple attributes available, but I'm only using some of them. I'm not using other insurance question. So whatever business says, like banker says, like under this particular disability income, I only want to use this field, monthly benefit amount. So you have to go and uncheck everything else. You don't want to include anything, but only monthly benefit amount. Now we see monthly benefit amount here. This field is nothing but this attribute here. Similarly, you have elimination period, which is this elimination period. Okay. Any questions so far? Component is nothing but a set of attributes. where you can at the end of the day we are going to capture data from the customer, right? So this could be used to show it to customer that we need to know your monthly benefit amount before we can go ahead and issue this insurance. Okay, all these attributes I can define it under my component, and those will be visible start appearing here. But if you see, there are only 4 fields visible here. But here I have selected multiple. If you see this red icon with the right click, this means my field should be included in this component. When I'm going to show it on my screen, it should include this particular field. But here, this particular field, let's see, limit amount. This one, even though it is checked, why it is not visible? So you can make attribute level setting. Till now, what we are doing here is we are making a component level setting. Now this particular component, it should be instances. There should be one instance of this particular component on the screen. You can have multiple instances also. Whether you want to show it in the tabular form or you want to show it like in a normal way, you can also show it in the checkbox form or in the drop down form. All of these things you can define it here. Like I want to show it in the table form, or I don't want to show it in the table form. If I want to show it in the table form, what should be the name of that particular table? And I'm going to show you another example where we have shown it in the terms of table. But before that, I have to lock my video or lock my product again. You see, there are multiple other settings I can do for this particular component. So do you want to see any label? I want to show a disability income label for my component. See, here it is disability income. And if you don't want to show any component label, you can just come here and remove it, or if you want to give any other component table, like I can change the disability income data. So I can come here and I can change it, right? It is as simple. I want to show the component table or hide component table. Both the options are available. Now, there comes a question of when I'm collecting the data from customer, depending on the data whatever filled by customer, now I want to hide or show some fields. Let me see if I have an example here. Actually, my product is unlocked, sorry. But my component, suppose this component, option benefit riders, it should only be applicable when my monthly benefit amount is more than 2000, right? How do I achieve that? This particular component should not be applicable for me if the value of monthly benefit amount is less than 2000. Okay. How I can do it? I can put applicability condition. I can just come here, set applicability condition, and under applicability expression, I can say that value of this component. Reconfigure disability income coverage dot monthly benefit amount. If it is greater than 2000, only then my component should be applicable. So I can simply write that applicability condition, and I think there might be some work in bankers who might already be doing that. On this condition only my component should be applicable. Otherwise, my component should not be applicable. So it should be pretty easy to do it. You can do it under applicability expression. Okay. You can put that in the description. Monthly benefit should be greater than 2000, something like that. Okay. This is about component, and then some if you want to do some validation on your component, right? That validation you can set it under this particular button. Okay, publish before the component. So some validations. I don't have an example right now, but if there is, so validation is like, mostly done on the attribute. So now monthly benefit amount should not have any name in it, right? This is a validation. I have to do that, this is a big decimal field. It should not have any string in that, right? How do I do that validation? So the lot of the validation is actually happening at the attribute level and not at the component level. Okay, I think component and attribute difference should be very clear to you. That this particular all of these attributes are under one component. Okay, so component is nothing but a set of one or more attributes. Attributes is the actual attribute where we are capturing the data from customer. Okay, now these are about the component level settings. You can set some properties also. Let me see what it is here. Okay, something like coverage code you want to write here for your component. There might be different type of coverages you have, right? So fire and theft, I gave you as an example, right? So when you are defining your fire coverage, you can simply come here and you can say like, this is my fire coverage. So some coverage code you can easily define. So this becomes the property of your component. Okay, so you can define the properties of your component here. Now let's talk about little about the attributes or the fields. Okay, now I was saying that there are only 4 fields visible here, and if you see, all of these fields are mandatory. This is red asterisk, right? That means it's a mandatory. If you don't see red asterisk, that means it's an optional field. Like how we generally see it in any other product, right? Wherever we want to have a mandatory set of field, you want to show it with the red asterisk. Any questions till now? Okay. So we have gone through the component property. I want to show you, like, there are multiple properties you can define it at the attribute level. Right now, where I am in that particular coverage component, and I am at this attribute now. The limit amount is one of the attribute available in this particular component. So under attribute, if you see there are, if you don't want to show this particular attribute, you can just uncheck this. I don't want to show this particular attribute. If I want to show it on the UI, I just click on show attribute. Okay, include attribute in comparison. This is something from Java objects also, right? When you want to compare two particular objects, it's not a simple equals. Like, if you have two objects of employee class, right? You can simply go ahead and say like equals. You have to write logic how to compare these particular these two objects of employee class. Similarly, if you have a comparison logic written for your component, you can say like I want to include it in comparison. Include attribute in rating. This is another great feature in EIS. If I select this particular field, right, and if you guys remember, we were talking about rate bearing field sometime in our previous session. What is a rate bearing field is that if I change the value of this particular monthly benefit amount, I think we had done it also. Like I had changed the value from 2,000 to 20,000, and we had seen that our premium had increased, because now we are saying that customer's monthly benefit is going to increase, but based on that increase, customer is liable to pay more premium to the insurance company. How you can achieve that is that how can you tell system that this particular attribute is should be included in my rating is that we have this particular configuration here. You include this field in rating. Okay, attribute is business sensitive. That means that it has a lot of business uh, concerns, right? So suppose, like, if I uncheck or check this particular field, it doesn't uh, impact business much. But if I'm changing this particular field, monthly benefit amount, this is of great value to business. And any business, any changes to this field should be considered, before we make any change in this field. So how do I make this field as a business sensitive? Is simply I come here and mark this attribute as business sensitive. Okay. And value change should trigger page refresh. Is something like, if I change the value of this particular field, and depending on this field value, I'm going to see the applicability of this particular component. So if I don't refresh my page, that's not going to happen, right? I cannot send the value of this field back to my database or back to my application if I don't refresh my page. So if I want to refresh the page, I can simply come here and check this field. Okay, and then there are a few other options we have, like if this particular limit amount should be a big decimal. Now, if I'm going to collect uh, the dollar amount, right, in this particular field, I know that it's going to be a big decimal. It's not going to contain any name in this, right? So I can go ahead and I can define the data type of my field here. Basically, it's going to be a string or whatever type of data I'm going to hold in that particular attribute. I can define it here.
Vijay, sorry to disturb.
Yeah.
We have another meeting at 5 o'clock.
Sure, sure. I'm just going to wrap it up. So we are almost done for component and attributes. So validation is another thing that I was just talking to you a few minutes back. That validation is more applicable for the attribute level. So now you want to validate that this field can only have a certain amount, like it should be not zero, right? In this particular field, how do I validate that customer is entering correct data? So to validate that, I can use this validation. And if I want to define any default value for this field, like when I'm creating this code, right? Some of the fields are by default coming check, or it has some value already defined, right? So I can define the default value. What does that mean? Is that whenever this attributes loads in the UI, it should have some default value. And here required and disabled, again the same thing, that I can have my field required, or I can have it disabled. I don't have disabled here, but if I want this component, suppose should only be filled by system and not manually, I can disable my field, because I don't want any data to be entered by customer. I can simply just disable that field. And also if I can mark it required if it is a required field, right? So this is something we can easily define our workspace. When we easily create a workspace, we can define tabs under this, and under each tab we can define our sections, and each section can have different components and attributes attributed to those components. So simply we will have created these pages. It's very simple, and it's done under product factory, as we have seen that I am right now in the product. I'm not going to save anything right now. I'm just going to go out. So we were here under this product. We were doing our configurations. So I hope the product factory is clear to you guys. What is a product factory? What is a workspace? That should also be clear. Under workspace, how do we define these tabs? Under each tab, how do we define sections? And under each section, how do we define components and attributes? I think should be very clear. And how do we configure this should also be very clear to you guys. Any questions? We are at time also. Let me know if you guys have any question.